morning, good afternoon, good evening, and all of those great things. Last week, you were able to see my dog.
This is a Bernedoodle. He's a Merle tri-colored Bernedoodle puppy. He's only 9 weeks. He's going to be a very big dog.
You were able to see the dog that we just got. And it's been great. In the beginning, I was kind of like, oh, Lord, what are we going to do with this dog? How do we move forward? And we just started kind of just figuring things out, learning. It's been a learning process. It's like when we had our first child, like Yadaris, we were trying to figure everything out. Having a puppy is definitely right down that track of even waking up in the middle of the night and all this stuff and potty training. Oh my Jesus, potty train. But I will say this. Remo was potty trained a whole lot faster than Yadaris, Nabiel, Doxalis, Marvelis, and Noriel. I will say that. So it's been great. It's been great. And thank you for all the comments, on our puppy Remo, and we appreciate it. Keep on praying for us because we're figuring it out every single day and we're making the very best of it. And I pray that all of you are doing well, that you've already signed up, to be following on the new YouTube channel that we just started. We decided to start it just with the Remo video because we want to be able to have like these videos that you've been seeing, like the weeklies, and also have some creative stuff, maybe things with my wife, things with my kids, Q&As with my kids and even other people. We want to just kind of expand on it. And we got some great plans, and that's why we took a week off, just to kind of restructure, reorganize, and get direction on where it is that we're going. So I don't want to hold you up too much. I know that you're here because you want to receive a word or maybe encouragement or to be lifted up or whatever it is, but you're here because you want to be able to receive something. And my prayer is that anytime that you log on to any of our channels on any platform, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, that you may be blessed and that you may be able to share it with someone else. In the next couple weeks, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about Jesus, and that's something that we've been doing in our church for right around 2 months. And we have seen how just there has been such a great move of God in our church. I am a believer in Jesus Christ. I believe that Jesus died on the cross and raised from the dead. I'm a strong believer that God is still able to heal, restore, and to lift us up from where we're at. Sometimes people even ask the question, like, what does it mean to say Jesus before family, work, and stuff like that? Like, sometimes people will say it in church lingo, like, you need to put Jesus first in your life. But sometimes they'll tell us that we need to put Jesus first in our life, but they don't let us know how we can do it. Does putting Jesus first in our life mean that we ignore our family? I've heard certain people that have communicated to me that they're adults, and they were just saying, one of my family members, he felt the call from God, and he left his entire family, and he left his family in the nation, and he just went to do his own thing. I don't look at that as being responsible, because our first ministry is our family. Our first ministry is to take care of what God has given us in front of us. If I cannot be a good husband, a good father to my children, then I have no business doing any of this. The only business that I need to do is to get some counseling and become a better husband and a better father. Look, if I'm abusive with my wife or with my children, I have no business trying to lead anyone. I need to get help. And I even say it in your life. Someone to try to even communicate, well, I'm a man of God, or I'm right, or I'm this and that, but they don't even know how to treat humanity. There's some deeper issues that are there, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But sometimes people think that putting Jesus first in their life means that they have to ignore their family or push their family to the side. I saw it with my father when he was starting the ministry and he was traveling internationally and doing all of these things. He would literally come on early flights so he can be back for graduation and just to be a part of different things that were going on in our lives. He wasn't missing graduations, like birthdays. He missed some of Mel's, because conflicts and stuff like that. But the majority of them, he was always there. So he had to make adjustments. Even though he was doing what God called him to do, he always made an adjustment to make Mel feel good, myself feel good, Joelle feel good, Joanne feel good, and just make us understand that we are family and that we're together. It was a priority. In our life, we have to be sure what are our priorities. When this starts to happen and you start to see like that your priorities start shifting and changing and family starts taking a back seat, we start setting ourselves up for destruction. We start setting ourselves up to make bad decisions. A lot of people that I've done counseling with, being a minister, I've been able to evaluate that a lot of times when they allowed themselves to get to the worst of the worst was when they completely separated themselves with family. Because this is the beautiful thing about family. Family will tell you straight up if there's something wrong. Family is not going to hold back. And I know sometimes family could be annoying. Let's be very honest. I know I'm annoying to my family at times, and they're annoying to me sometimes too. I love them with all my heart because family will always be truthful and they will be clear with you. So when we start seeing that our priorities start being shifted and we start going here and we start going there, we have to be so careful that we don't get lost in this whole thing, that we're trying to impact everyone else and we lose our family. Colossians chapter 1, verse 15 through 17 says, "He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For by him all things were created that are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things," look at that, "all things were created through him and for him, and he is before all things, and in him all things consist." When I look at that ending, that all things consist, everything has to be centered around Christ. If we were to put ourselves in a position just to say, Jesus is first in everything, when I'm trying to make decisions in my life for my future, when I speak to my children about their future, I tell them, okay, how are you going to bring glory to God with that decision? Because we have to really think about that. It's not all about how much money you can make in a transaction, but how will you bring glory? How will you bring glory with what you're doing, with the work that you're doing? I like working on things that I'm looking at an eternal perspective, like eternity. I'm thinking eternity. So Jesus, is first in everything. Then Jesus with family. So when we start looking at Jesus in my career, Jesus in my health, more so, what if we start focusing on, okay, you know what? It's not only Jesus in everything, Jesus in my family, Jesus in my career, Jesus in my health. What about Jesus in my family? How about saying Jesus in my career? How about saying Jesus in my health? In changing everything, Jesus starts taking the center of our life and of our family. And I know that in this episode, I'm not going to be able to cover that, but in the next couple weeks, I'm going to be breaking that down so that we can just have some more clarity on family, career, relationships, and all of those things, because I think it's so important. I don't want to just tell you, put Jesus in the center and not give you direction on how you can put Jesus in the center of your life. How am I going to make Jesus? How am I going to bring Jesus into my family, into my career, into my relationships, into my health? And that's what we want to do in the next couple weeks. Before we get to the next couple weeks, I'll leave you with this. If we allow Jesus to start taking the center of our life and start filling us, that is when we're truly going to start living in a greater way. There will always be areas that we're trying to fill in our life. Maybe it's financially, maybe it's with our health, maybe it's with maybe in your dating life, your marriage, father, mother. There may be a lot of different things, but if there's one thing that I can just encourage you before we start moving into these other episodes that will be coming in the coming weeks, if there's one thing that I can tell you is start asking God to give you wisdom and guidance on what are the areas that you need to change in your life to allow Jesus into your life. Because if we allow Jesus into our life, that is when everything will start to change. Family, I pray that this has been a blessing in your life. I encourage you, this is going to be a series that we're doing for like the next 4 or 5 weeks. And I want you to share it. I want you to listen to it, take notes. And even when you see me at church or if you see me anywhere, let me know that this is being a blessing in your life so that we know that we're hitting the right nerve at this moment, because we want to continue bringing content that could be a blessing in your life. So right there, YouTube, follow our new YouTube channel, Nisaac Rosario. And also don't forget, be a blessing wherever you go and allow Jesus to be the center of your life. I love you. Be blessed.